Hello and welcome to Hey, I Loved That Movie, the podcast where we rewatch the films we loved when we were younger to see if they still hold up. I'm Dan,
I'm Michael.
And I'm Helena.
and for this episode we watched The Iron Giant. I hadn't seen this film in years, but this is one that I definitely had on either VHS or DVD, and I watched quite a lot, and it made me sad every time, but I haven't watched it since that VHS or DVD, so it genuinely could be like 20 years since I've seen it, if not more.
Yeah, I think it's been about 20 years for me as well. We didn't own this one. We rented it on Blockbuster twice, I think. Once at a friend's house and then once at home. Too sad. I think it was not one that was going to get bought because too sad for everyone.
I think I had...
It really stuck with me though.
Yeah, it is profoundly sad. I think I had the same thing. I had it on... I think I had a proper VHS of it, like we bought a copy of it.
Yeah,
Okay,
same.
not your dirty bought from a man at a boot fair.
No,
No,
not
it wasn't
recorded...
the folder of miscellaneous DVDs with Sharpied names on
No,
them.
this is pre that time. This is
Yeah.
a wall of blank videos that are recorded from the TV. This was that era.
And you never know what you're going to get. It could be 3 episodes of West Wing or it could be a Disney movie
Yeah.
that was shown
And
on BBC.
It was... You can see all the glue from the stuff that was written on it before that was peeled off.
So this came up as like Jennifer Aniston movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Which
was
was
very
just
surprised
not
that
something
it was
I knew.
Jennifer
That was
Aniston,
a
actually.
surprise. Well, do you know what's more surprising? Do you know who the fuck is more surprising that's in this film? It's Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel?
Well, that's the only voice actor that I remember that I knew was in it.
No,
Because I remember when he was cast as Groot, and everyone was like, "Really?" And I was like, "Yes." Have you seen the Iron Giant?
It's the Iron Giant. But everyone else in this film, apart from Jennifer Aniston and Vin Diesel, are like, they're voice actors
Yeah.
for the most part.
Yeah.
Like, they should be in this kind of sad kids drama. No, Vin Diesel's in it.
I mean,
You know
who else
Riddick,
would you cast? It's 1999, I think. Who else would you cast as the Iron Giant?
I can't think of anyone else. But Vin Diesel feels so wrong. Vin Diesel feels like he shouldn't be in this film. Like, if this was made now, and it had, like, a full cast, and you were like, oh, sick, they're all really cool, and then they were like, Vin Diesel as the Iron Giant, you'd be like,
I'd more be like, why?
Feels
And
wrong.
that's the reason that I didn't clock that this was Vin Diesel as a kid.
oh, I also didn't know who
Um,
Vin Diesel was.
Oh no,
Yeah.
no.
But also, like, the Iron Giant doesn't really speak all that much,
No.
and it's a heavily filtered robotic voice. It
Yeah.
could have been anyone.
Literally anyone. It's just weird that it ended up being Vin Diesel.
Well, it's just like, surely that was quite an expensive choice as well.
Well,
I don't
probably
know,
not
was
at the
he
time,
that big
because
at the
this was
time?
even
Ah.
pre-Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because
okay.
the Fast and the Furious was 2001.
Yeah.
Um,
This is like, it just so happened to be Vin Diesel.
Yeah. What else had he done before that? Let's see. It's
I don't
not
think
showing it in.
much.
No. Because Pitch Black was after this as well, so
Yeah, they were.
like all of his big movies came out after this.
Yeah, this was like one of his first.
This
big
is
hits.
this is what launched his career.
Yeah, he played the Iron Giant. It genuinely might have been. Like, we joke, it might have been.
Yeah.
That's about who you. I mean, he was in Saving Private Ryan the year before,
Was he?
but I don't know if he had a big role in that.
I
Private
think he's got a
Capazzo?
really small part in that, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, who the fuck is he in?
And also, this
Yeah.
was like mid Jennifer Aniston in Friends as well.
Yeah, this is like Jennifer Aniston was
Yeah,
quite famous.
but they've got the big name for 1999
Yeah,
of Jennifer Aniston, so it's just I guess he really wasn't a big
yeah. It's
fresh
weird.
fresh face. It's just so funny.
Yeah,
I
It's like-
wonder, like, do you think they marketed it as "Come see this movie about a kid and his giant made of
Robot.
iron"?
Yeah,
His
obviously.
mum is
It's-
voiced by Jennifer Aniston.
I think so. If we learn anything from Treasure Planet, yes, that's exactly how they marketed it. They marketed it as a cool sci-fi film about a boy and his giant robot with Jennifer Aniston in it. What we got was a very sad film about a boy and his giant robot
with Jennifer
Aniston, and guess what, Vin Diesel. That's what we ended up with.
I mean, when you're looking at the movie posters, they don't say like they don't really scream like, and it's Jennifer Aniston. Like the focus is just on the fact that it's an Iron Giant, and the posters are sick as well. They've got like some really kind of late 1900s sci-fi vibes to them.
Yeah,
yeah, they're really cool posters.
It was set during Cold War, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it's the 60s.
Yeah,
yeah.
I think it's during the Cold War because they're all like.
Oh, it's nuclear panic, isn't it? It's kind of Fallout-esque.
Yeah,
but
pre-Fallout.
Do you reckon there's an advert for this that has like really annoying American voice? It's like, and now come to the cinema to see a boy and his robot.
I mean,
wow.
I don't think it'll be quite that British.
No,
but
I struggled. Yeah. But that voice of like a boy having fun. What a giant robot! That's gonna be the vibe of the advert. Oh, those poor children.
Oh, well, I'm going to listen to one now, so 1 second.
Those poor children being led into just depression. In every sense of the word. Because, God, this movie's grey.
It really
is.
It's
not. Oh.
It's not a colourful film.
It's sad.
No, I didn't like colour-wise. Like, actual colour-wise.
Yeah. Well,
I didn't think it was grey.
I thought it was very grey. It felt very, like...
One of the things I thought about it at the start was, how colourful and pretty this animation is.
Look at the giant grey man. Yeah, that's what.
Yeah, look at the big grey robot. Isn't he pretty? Well, no, but like the sunsets and the scenery and like the art style, like it could have been grey. It is not Fallout 3.
No, it's not depressing.
No, that's green. Yeah. But like all the hand-drawn animations are then accompanied by the like sort of 3D model giant robot. It was like a really good like a good mix. This was obviously like pre-Treasure Planet and everything where they were trying that out. This was probably one of the first ones, directed by Brad Bird as well, who's the guy that did The Incredibles.
Well, that's the sort of that's what the big name is really for this film. It's the only thing that sort of makes it onto the poster is Brad Bird. What? Oh, okay.
What is this film? Like,
okay. What I want to know as well. It's only been 168 episodes before we've gotten to this, but what did you guys actually remember from this film before watching it?
Oh, very little.
I remember there was a big giant, and a kid, and they were friends.
I remember the ending. I remember the ending very clearly.
I did not remember the ending. I was not prepared for the ending. I did not enjoy the ending.
I remembered the ending, and for some reason the other bit that I remembered is that he has a big chest gun. That's about it. I remember when his chest opens up and it's a big gun.
Chest gun.
Yeah, I remember that he gets red squinty eyes and goes evil, and that was scary when I was a kid. But I didn't remember like the full plot. And I remember we'll get into it, but it gets a little bit sad about 2/3 of the way through.
It's a little bit sad about the end as well.
Well, and I was like, oh, okay, so this is the sad bit. Okay, poor young baby Helena. Yeah, this was probably quite upsetting if you were a kid and didn't fully understand how movies work. But it's going to be all right in the end. They're not going to bump off the kid. And then it's like, oh, no. Oh, no. Okay, no, that wasn't the bit that was sad. Oh, it gets so much worse. Oh, dear. I was sobbing. I was full on sobbing. Yeah. So, I don't know. It was good. It was good cathartic kind of sob, though.
This is embarrassing. This is real embarrassing. I think I had, when I was younger, a little bit of a subconscious crush on the main guy in this, not the
robot
love interest. Yes, the robot, the Diesel character. No, the
the cool dude, the scrapyard artist.
Yeah, I think I did. I don't know what that says about me.
It was this rewatch that I realised that guy is what the meme of art comes from.
Yes.
As well. Because I was like, oh shit, it's that guy.
Yeah, I'm not...
I'd totally forgotten he was an artist. All I remembered was that he owned a scrapyard.
Yeah, because he makes scrap art.
Yeah. I'd completely forgotten that too.
But their relationship's so wholesome between like the kid and the weird scrapyard artist.
Hot scrapyard artist.
Yeah. He's not hot, I guess.
I don't know.
And it's all because he wanted to bang cartoon Jennifer Aniston.
Cartoon.
Well, I thought that
Yeah.
was more the vibe of the thingy guy, the FBI guy.
Well, yeah, him too, but he's just more
Everyone-
creepy.
I mean,
He's
Particularly
kind of
creepy.
pretending that way when in actuality he wants to find the giant robot.
He wants to fuck the giant robot. So
okay,
this
yeah,
film
he's
looks-
pretty hot.
right.
With the little beard kind of thing going on. And he's deep, he's an artist. And he likes, and he tolerates a child.
And like a little bit trashy. Like he's a great guy, but like a little bit grungy.
Yeah. Sort of successful in, like, sure, he owns his own business, but it is a scrapyard.
Yeah, but like he's also an artist and all deep and
Yeah. But a sensible artist that has, like, a
Yeah.
backup.
yes. Well, he's merged his job and his hobby, which is something we all want to do in life. Oh,
So
man.
plot-wise,
Yeah.
Hoagie?
So
Hogarth?
it starts with a meteor from
Hogarth.
space landing in a hurricane, and some fisherman's like, "What the fuck is that?"
The
Oh, yeah.
fuck is that? Yeah. And then a boy with the strangest name you've ever heard.
Yeah, Hogarth
and-
Hughes.
This film, it feels like it's trying to convince you it's a normal name the entire time.
Yeah, I've
not a
never heard
normal
of someone
name.
called Hogarth.
It's
You know.
not a popular name now.
Well, I can't imagine it was a popular name, man. But it feels like the film is trying to convince me that it's a normal kid's name. How do you shorten it? What do you Hoggy?
Hoagie,
Garth.
I think.
Hoggy.
Garth.
Who-
Duh.
Garth is much better.
Maybe Garth is short for Hogarth, and not
Maybe.
Garfield.
Well, Garth is a name, isn't it?
Yeah, like in
Yeah,
Wayne's
Garth
World.
is a name,
Yeah.
but not Hogarth.
So it's set in 1957.
During the Cold War.
And yeah, so Hogarth's mum works in a diner. She's like a single mum. He's like he seems like he's a good kid, but he's just interested in everything. So he
Yeah.
starts off by he's like, "Hey, I have this pet
he's-
squirrel now that he
a-
just captured," and
he's a
releases it in
child.
the diner.
He's a child with undiagnosed ADHD. It's kind of the best way to put it.
Yes.
Because
But when he gets coffee, beautiful
yeah.
scene.
Oh, that's
Um, But yeah, he has this box with an animal in it. He's caught a squirrel essentially,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Mom, can I keep it?" She's like, "No, because you shouldn't keep squirrels as pets."
No,
but he
you
gets
shouldn't.
out and goes up
Generally,
the artist guy's leg,
Yeah, cool guys.
and then
legs.
runs around.
And then yeah, he's like, well, the kid's Hogarth Hoggy is like, "Oh, I lost my pet. Have you found him?" And he's like, "He's in my leg."
Yeah.
He's in.
And
my...
isn't that more of like a ferret thing? But
I wouldn't want any squirrel-like animal up my trouser leg if I'm honest.
Not in your clothes. Oh, when I was in London once, one just ran up like the outside of my jeans. That was pretty cool. I was like,
That's fine. The
it just,
danger zone
I was not
isn't...
expecting it. It just ran up me, and I was like, hello, squirrel.
The danger zone isn't on the outside, is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, no. It's if it gets in and goes for them nuts. That's when it's a
Yeah.
problem.
I understand his fear and his panic.
But yeah, he doesn't out the kid.
Oh,
Which
he's
is like
fully
cool
clean kid
grown
at
up
this point.
move.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that's how you know he's not that great of a person. Like, he's cool, but, like, maybe not the most responsible.
I think he seems to he loves a bit of chaos.
Yeah.
That's why he's like, because he's like egging on because the guy from the start of the film's there telling his friends about the giant robot.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I believe him.
Yeah, he's like, well, I
Like,
think
you-
it was a... Well, he's like, I think it was a Russian, like, robot, a Russian machine.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I think it is, and you have to agree with these guys because no one else will. Not how that works. That's also not great. Also not a great approach to things, I don't think.
Yeah, but he ends up
A bit of fun.
Hogarth ends up having like being sent home. His mum has to work late, and she's like, "Don't stay up watching horror movies and stuff." And so that's exactly what he does until
Yeah,
the
she's like,
TV stops
eat
working.
eat dinner. Yeah, eat your dinner. and don't stay up all night watching scary movies. And he's like, there's like his dinner, and then there's like Twinkies.
Yeah, so he just eats the
And-
Twinkies, and he's filling them with more
extra
cream.
cream. Yeah.
Yeah, and he builds a fort.
Yeah.
Builds like a blanket fort. I've never wanted to be a kid more. I want a blanket fort.
He made it look pretty. He made it look pretty good.
But he's just watching horror movies.
Did that make you nostalgic for your childhood?
I mean, I didn't watch 1950s horror movie where they go, "My God, there's something in the other room." Almost
Yeah,
all
to be
the
fair, the
time,
fake
no.
horror movie in this was pretty funny as well.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I ever watched horror movies late at night as a kid. That was when I was like an early teenager.
Hmm.
That was when I watched The Ring at 2 a.m. That was good.
Smart.
Yeah. But I want a pillow fort again. I want to make a big pillow fort.
We had our nieces round not too long ago, made a pillow fort, and I think we were slightly more psyched about it than the kids were.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was,
I
it was
think
a good time.
you're allowed to make a pillow fort without children being there.
No, it's weird.
It's a bit weird.
It's weird.
I've sort of made pretty snuggly nest type things when I've been ill.
Oh yeah,
And it's
that
more
looks
like I've just
fine.
set up my laptop and had like multiple duvets and blankets in my little like rock cage
Yeah.
while I get
Yeah.
better.
You have a sick cocoon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that sounds disgusting.
You have an
but yeah.
illness cocoon, but like, yeah, you don't make a pillow fort. That's weird to do on your own as an adult.
Well, I'll go and dismantle mine after
I was
this.
going to
I
say
would.
when Dan like awkwardly turns on his camera and is like, "Screw you guys, I was
crazy.
enjoying myself."
Also, it's very hot today. I wouldn't want to be in a pillow
Yeah, no,
fort
it's
today
too
of all
hot,
days.
yeah.
And then your partner's just in the other room sitting on like a bare cushionless sofa frame, and being like, "For fuck's sake."
He's got it.
I'm just
He's
like,
done it
it's-
again.
It's for soundproofing. It's needed.
Not again.
It's the only
Actually,
way to
that'd be
stop
a
the
pretty.
seagulls.
That'd be a pretty sick place to record audio, and it would sound so clean.
Yeah.
Oh, remember when I was recording out of the cupboard for a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was fun. That was felt like an adult pillow fort because I had the duvets that were tucked in around the door frame.
Yeah. If I have a recording studio, like a little room, I'm going to call it the pillow fort.
I mean, that's also feels like it could be slang for like a psychiatric ward as well.
100%.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Feels really offensive to call the psychiatric hospital the pillow fort. That feels mean.
It feels like it's one of those names that someone's going to accidentally say out loud
Yeah.
at a
Yeah.
meeting, and then like the whole team's going to get yelled at.
You have to have a long conversation.
Oh hell yeah!
You
The
get
pillow
shown-
fort. When do I get the cool pajamas?
It reminds me of like those like acronyms they use. I think more in America, but in the UK as well. Like FUBAR and stuff
Oh, yeah.
for like when someone turns up at the hospital
Yeah.
when they're like listing their stats in front of them to the next like doing the handover.
You get the pillow fort. So this film.
Anyway,
Let's talk
yeah.
about
So
it.
he's watching his horror films, and suddenly it stops working, and he realizes the satellite dish has been removed.
Yeah.
So he packs up. I mean, at first I was like, "Oh fuck! I hope he's not got a real gun. This is going to go real wrong." But it's a BB gun. It's fine.
Very American, though. He just pulls out a rifle.
Yeah. He just gets all his gear ready, and he hikes into the woods.
Absolutely wild thing for a child to do.
He's brave and needs supervision.
Yeah, that child, ADHD, undiagnosed ADHD,
It's
should not be left
very. It's not outright stated, but you can tell his dad was a soldier or a
Yeah,
pilot, maybe, because like he has his
Yeah.
dad's helmet and there's like photos of his dad up and stuff. So it's not for like, it's not his dad's left him and abandoned him kind of daddy issues. It's like his dad's died and he's, brave kid, mum doing best kind of situation.
yeah. This film has a weird relationship with the military.
Yes.
Yeah.
The film's a complicated relationship with the military. And the way it represents the military in it. Very strange. We'll get to it, but it's very strange.
So he's sort of exploring, and he finds a giant robot
Yeah, he
who's
finds the
eating
Iron
metal,
Giant.
and then he ends up getting tangled up in some like electricity pylons. So Hogarth turns off the power to save him.
Yeah, he's like full on munching a substation, which he finds out
Yeah.
very quickly is a bad spicy dinner.
Hot sauce for robots.
And he's getting properly zapped, and Hogarth is like, there's just this giant on-off switch.
Yeah, that's probably
Hogarth
works.
finds.
It's not a complicated system to turn off a power station like that. It's literally one switch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just in case a giant robot gets caught in the pylon.
They have to plan for every eventuality.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You never
they
know.
were when the engineer was setting that up, he was like, "You'll fucking need it."
You watch. If you don't, this whole town is gone.
Yeah.
Gone.
So
Eaten
yeah,
by
you
a
know
giant
this
robot.
substation that powers the entire village of Tower
this
Town. Yeah,
one-
we're gonna make it really easy to turn off the power.
It's so easy a child can do it.
A child under immense stress and pressure could
Yeah.
quickly and easily do it.
But the rest of the power station, fucking delicious to giant robots.
Yeah,
You
all
can make
metal,
it out
no
of
insulation.
The tastiest metal you've ever seen. And the guy's like, "What?"
It's like, yeah, we've got garlic infused copper, sprinkled a bit of cheese on there.
What do
We've
you
made it
mean,
entirely out of old cast iron pans.
giant? They're all seasoned. It's all pre-seasoned. Like, what do you mean, giant robot?
So yeah, the giant robot is regretting his decisions.
Yeah.
And he
He's-
gets properly zappy zapped. And then when
Yeah.
he comes to, he's basically, well, Hogarth thinks he's dead. So
Understandable.
he's like, "Oh my god, that's not good." And then doesn't he just leave him because, like, his
Yeah,
mum turns up.
Yeah, his mum finds him and takes him home because she's been worried because he wasn't at home when she got back.
Yeah, so he's ranting and raving to his mum about giant robots. And then when he goes back, is it the next day? He goes back and it's not there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the guy from the like Bureau of Unexplained Phenomenons guy, he shows up
Yeah,
because he's exploring.
there's been too many reports of like a giant like robot.
Yeah, and like cars with chunks missing out of them and all that sort of thing.
Yes.
So he's sort of going around. He's exploring. He finds. He thinks it's all rubbish, and he finds Hogarth's BB gun, which is mostly destroyed, and it just says "Hog Hog" on it.
Yeah.
Yep. Hog.
Oh, cook.
Hog. Which is more of a name than Hogarth. So, to be fair, I wouldn't look at that and go, "Oh, that's a person's name," because even in full, not a person's name.
But yeah, so Hogarth decides to go in and try and find the robot by taking a scrap of metal in, like, with him to feed to him. He takes
Yeah.
his camera and that with him as well. He ends up accidentally, like, taking a picture of himself, and the giant gives him the, like, shut-off switch, and he's like, oh, he realised that I've saved him.
Yeah,
Yeah, it also was
and the robot's kind of much more like a big kid at this point.
Yeah, like, it starts
Yeah.
copying what he's saying, and he's, like, teaching him about, like, rocks and stuff.
He's like, "Rock."
Where he's like, blah, 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 blah.
All right.
Yeah, it's very cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a really sweet scene because like, it's basically the younger sibling that Hogarth probably always wanted because that boy needs someone around him at all times.
A friend.
Yep. And what he's
Like-
needed was always a giant metal man.
Yeah, understandably.
Yeah.
It's what we all need sometimes.
And then there's a really sad scene. They watch a deer get shot.
That's like a
Yes.
little bit later on, I think.
Is it?
yeah.
Is it? Okay, sorry.
I think
You
so.
may you at this point you may have accidentally switched over to Bambi.
yeah.
The rest of the film's really weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
So the
it's-
robot just does not come back, right?
No, it's all from
And
the deer's
There's
perspective.
a
from
rabbit,
then on.
and they start
it's on fire.
singing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot
Oh,
of.
shit,
It's
yeah.
real sad though.
Yeah. Still cried.
What do you mean the robot flies off in the end? The deer was sad.
Oh god, the deer explodes.
I don't.
Yeah, no, so he's essentially telling the robot to stay, and he keeps following him, and then the robot tries to eat the train tracks, and there's a train
Oh,
coming, and he's like,
yeah.
oh shit, and he causes a big train crash.
Well, yeah, because he manages to get Mr. Giant manages to get the train tracks back like perfectly, but he's so keen to do it absolutely back how it was that he gets hit by the train, and obviously it does more damage to the train than it does to him.
Yeah, but he still gets some parts broken off of him, but he can send out a little head signal, and then his parts all crawl back to him.
Yeah. Oh, that bit's so cute.
Yeah,
You can
and
fix
and
it.
so Hogarth is like, okay, you can come and stay in this barn at the like stay at the barn in the house.
I think that's the other thing is like obviously they live out in the sticks
yeah
and have like this just a massive barn, and it might have been a farm at some point, but now it's just kind of land. Yeah, it's just him and his mum, and they've got a room up for rent.
The bureau guy's sniffing around, but it's the hand for the robot hasn't quite come back on yet, and so Hogarth's trying to hide that from his mum around the house.
Yeah, because it's dinner time, and he walks in, and that and for some reason, don't know why, don't care, because it's amazing. The hand is kind of like a dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's like, he can sort of direct it, and it kind of has some kind of vision or perception, but it's not very smart.
No. So he's kind of running around trying to get the hand out, and then as he opens the door, the bureau guy's there to ask him questions.
And this guy's a real slimy cunt.
Yeah, Kent Mansley is his name. And he's
Like,
such a...
He starts off bad, but he ends up like truly evil. So
he's
no.
definitely the villain of the piece. Yeah, he's like introduces to the family and that introduces himself, and then when he's driving off, he kind of realizes the name of the kid matches the name on the gun.
Yeah, so he knows the kid was actually way more involved.
Yeah, that guy goes off. And then Hogarth is like reading some old comics to the robot in the shed. And he's talking to him about like
taking
Superman
care of him
that.
like he's his little brother. He's like, right, on a bedtime story.
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh,
you want to be Superman?"
Yeah, he only uses his powers for good, never for evil. But then there's Atomo, the Metal Menace, and he's a big villain.
And he does look suspiciously like...
Yeah, he doesn't look anything like he's stopped looking at him.
Yeah. And then he's like, oh, he needs to get some food, so he's like, I'll take you to the scrapyard.
Well, it's like, they're going around, they find like a car, but it's not enough. Oh, and then there's like a diner, and they have to hide because like there's a car coming.
Oh, yeah.
So he poses pretending to like hold the plate at the diner. They've got like one of those giant plate signs.
One of the big billboards, yeah.
Yeah.
Then
then they go to the scrapyard.
Yeah, he's
Although
like
they follow the car because the car that they were going to eat gets picked up by...
Oh yeah, by the scrap car, yeah. They go there, and then while the giant's eating one of the cars, the horn just keeps going off.
Yeah. And he like panics and throws it 100 miles away.
Yeah.
It goes so far. Some random person's just like driving along and a car just lands in front of them, probably.
Hit by a car.
Like a partially eaten car.
Yeah.
Hit by a car, like 10 miles into a nature hike. There's no roads around. No, how the fuck?
Where the fuck did this come from?
Insurance won't believe him.
And then in like 3 or 4 weeks later goes, it was probably the giant robot.
Yeah. Yeah, so while they're at the scrap place, he sort of hides the robot, and then the art guy, I can't remember his name. Yeah. He like sees Hogarth and he offers him some coffee. And Hogarth's like, coffee's fine, I drink it.
Well, he's like, do you want milk? He's like, guy's like, you're too old to be out here.
Yeah.
And too young to be out here, like, what's going on? And it was like, right, well, he's like, please don't call my mum, whatever. And he's like, fine, do you want some milk? And he's like, I can have coffee. And he's like, oh, can you? This is espresso. And then he does not shut up, and it's amazing. Like the kid is on a million miles an hour. It tells like the whole story.
I don't think. So they go outside. Dean sees the robot, and he's like panicking, so he's telling him about it. I do like how Hogarth's like, it's okay, can he stay here? He just needs food and shelter. And Dean just pours the coffee on the floor, walks inside, and then he just says 37 minutes later.
Yeah.
And he's just going off.
He's like, please, 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 please.
So he agrees to it. Also, Dean's dressing gown has some real English teacher level symbolism on it, because he's got the yin yang logo on. Because, there's a bit of good in all the bad things and a bit of bad in all the good things.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the other film about empathy.
Yeah.
The other kid's film that is just about empathy for living things.
Yeah, it is. But it's hard not to warm up to this very cute robot.
Yeah. Even though it's massive.
Even though it's massive. And they're sort of like, no, this, like, you can eat this stuff, this is scrap, this is art.
Yes, the meme.
Yeah.
So yeah, he lets him stay there. Hogarth has to go home, but the bureau guy Mansley is still hanging around because he knows that Hogarth knows something. See, I called him by a normal name because Yeah, so Hogarth has to like take this guy around with him everywhere, so he essentially just slips him laxative in his milkshake.
Yeah, he straight up poisons the guy with X-Lax. It's hilarious. Yeah. I didn't realise that X-Lax was like that old of like a medication, but yeah.
I imagine it was a lot more vicious back then.
Hopefully. I think you're supposed to have like a square or something at a time as well, and he just has like the whole thing.
You're so sick.
On like on a milkshake. And like, yeah, he's so diarrhea-y, and yeah, Hogarth manages to lose him. So then the guy's the little sequence of this guy like then going to various places carrying on his investigations and then needing to use the loo.
Yeah.
Like pulling a face of like, oh no, and then using the loo was so funny. I know it's toilet humour, but it's good toilet humour.
Great toilet humour.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just they don't show him shitting his guts out, but it's like they show him leaving like
because
a bathroom, being like or like coming out from behind a bush.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're cowards.
I mean, I did see when I rented this, so there was the normal version, which is the one I watched. There's also like a slightly extended version that has a couple of scenes that had been cut out.
It's just him shitting.
Oh, the diarrhea cut.
Yeah.
The shit cut.
It goes for 2.5 hours. And that's just the deleted scenes.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a really weird... You know, when like sometimes...
It's strange how much diarrhea they actually animated.
Yeah.
You think like they could have reused some of it, but they were like, no, we're going to do all of it
hand-drawn as well.
No repetition. Yeah.
Like, it's weird.
Oh, yeah. Computers weren't capable of that at the time.
No. Trying to get the water effects just right would have been a nightmare.
Because it's like, just a little bit harder than water, but...
I'll give it to you, Mikey. This bit of the film was quite brown.
It's really weird that like sometimes you watch like the extended version, you're like, I don't know why they cut all this out. You can tell why they cut all of that out.
I think it's the horror at Brad Bird of being like, why did you commission all this poop?
And like
and he's just there giggling like, I don't like the animators. I'm making poop for 3 weeks straight.
It's all one like static uncut shot as well. It's really intense. It's quite emotional to watch.
And then after he's finished,
he's crying. He's not well.
Yeah, it's
he finishes shitting himself, and then he finds Hogarth's camera and goes off to develop the pictures. Meanwhile, Hogarth goes to a lake to dive in, and the Iron Giant decides to run in and cannonball and take out most of the water from the lake.
Yes.
Because Hogarth is
watching
like,
Dean's face as like he realised what's happening.
Yeah, just like
absolutely incredible.
Just the
he just
huge
accepts
wave
it
of
as
water.
Well. He's not like, I'm not getting away from this.
He's like, that's enough fun for one day.
He submits, and then when he finally lands after the tidal wave, he's like in the road, and the car like beeps its horn for him to pass, and he just doesn't. Car's just like, well then.
And then this is when they see the deer.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, and the deer gets shot, and the giant's sad, but he sees the gun, and his eyes go a bit red.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What you don't know is the Iron Giant and Bambi are in the same cinematic universe.
Yeah.
It's called the.
Oh, was that Bambi's dad?
It's called
Bambi's mum even.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called the Very Sad Cinematic Universe. There's Bambi, is
and Lilo and Stitch just across the ocean.
Oh, and there's the Fox and the Hound.
Yeah, Fox and the Hound, same universe.
Yeah.
The Very Sad Cinematic Universe. We have to do Fox and the Hound at some point.
We should.
No,
I don't know if I've seen it.
Honestly, don't know if it will make me cry as much as this film did.
I think it'll make me cry more. I didn't actually cry that much at this film.
You monster.
I know. I felt like a monster at the end of it.
Well, yeah, like, so, I mean, there's a sort of sad bit where he's explaining to the giant, like, oh, it's bad to kill, but it's not bad to die. But Hogarth believes in souls, so he's like, well, souls don't die, like, you'll carry on.
This kid has a confusing
and then
belief.
Mansley chloroforms Hogarth and kidnaps him.
Yeah, it goes really 0 to 100 at this point with like how evil this guy goes from. Like, okay, he's evil and annoying in an annoying kind of investigative, like bad guy kind of Pink Panther kind of way.
He's bad, but he's kind of just doing his job.
Yeah,
and he's like going off on about how it could be like Chinese or Russian or something that that
Yeah.
is why he needs to be destroyed, because they don't know what this meteor was.
Well, yeah, and that's actually a genuinely very valid concern.
Yeah.
Like, to be fair, this is This is like there's a lot of, and we'll touch more on it soon. But the nuclear panic
Mm-hmm.
is real and intense.
Yeah. So he's like, he essentially locks him in his room, and he's just
Well,
like sitting and watching
interrogates him in the barn, and it's like full on tied him up, shining a light in his face, FBI interrogation
Yeah.
on a 9-year-old boy.
Yeah, with undiagnosed ADHD as well.
Yeah.
What a difficult person to interrogate. It's just...
But yeah, so the photo has a selfie of Hogarth with the Iron Giant.
Yeah, because he sort of took it by accident earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
he's-
there's like an accidental shot and then a deliberate shot, isn't there?
Yeah, yeah. And so he's sort of called in the army, and yeah, he's waiting.
Yeah, the
He's
army
just-
won't come until there's like evidence.
Yeah, and so it's that bit where like he's just sitting there watching Hogarth like from the other side, from the other room,
No, yeah. So creepy.
and then
And it's
yeah,
like, who's going to fall asleep first?
yeah, and
He's at
Hogarth
this
does,
point kind of
and-
unhinged.
yeah. And then he ends up falling asleep, and when he wakes up, he's like, "Oh, Hogarth's still there." And then the actual Hogarth just walks past because he's just put his helmet in the bed.
Very much reminded me of, what was it? It was Fairly Odd Parents with the basketball.
Oh yeah,
And then the dad's like, oh, look at our sleeping son with his basketball head.
yeah. I mean, to be fair, a kid called Hogarth might be made from a helmet. You never know.
I refuse. Like, Hogarth is surely a name you adopt when you reach about 65 at the earliest.
Yeah. Because Hoggy is the best thing to call him at that age.
Yeah.
Because even Garth feels a bit weird.
Well, we're going to get like a bunch of messages from all of our listeners called Hogarth who are just stop listening.
I don't think we have enough people to have anyone called Hogarth listening to us. Because I don't think it's a real fucking name.
But,
Someone's going to be named after Hogarth from... No, you know what? I don't think that's true. I don't think anyone out there has named their child Hogarth after the kid in the Iron Giant.
no, they're
don't
more
think
likely to
that's
call their
true.
kid the Iron Giant.
Yeah. First name Iron, last name middle name Giant.
No, first
Last
name
name
the
whatever
Iron.
that family last name is. First name The. First middle name Iron, last middle name Giant, and then whatever the person's surname is, because that's how names work.
Apparently, it was big in 1940.
When you say big, what do you mean?
The Giant, he's really big.
Yeah.
The Giant has always been big. I'm just going to put that out there. The Giant is never not big.
No. Although he does kind of have the changing size depending on the scene issue sometimes.
All giant movie monsters have that. All of
Yeah.
them. All of them fluctuate in size, and it's fine.
Yeah.
Great, even.
Apparently, at the moment, there are 171 people in Canada, not in Canada, in California called Hogarth,
Wow. Poor them.
and in South Dakota, there is 3.11 Hogarths per 100,000 South Dakotans.
Okay, I was going to say, if you said there were 3.1 Hogarths, how the fuck do you get 0.1 of a
I
Hogarth?
thought you were
no,
going to say 3.1 million people called Hogarths.
Oh no, ignore me. That's surnames. That doesn't count.
Yeah, no, his first name is Hogarth.
So, the army have shown up, but Dean
Yeah.
just manages to pass off the Iron Giant as a big piece of his art.
Yeah, covering him in like bits of tat.
Yeah,
And his mum Hogarth's mum is there, is like, oh, that's
Yeah.
a bit shit.
but she ends up kind of being a bit flirty with Dean.
To begin with, like, she looks at the giant robot art and goes, oh, it's a bit shit. I mean, not in those words, but a bit shit.
She's
Um,
like, oh, it just looked like there's too much going on. It's like stuff tacked onto it, and obviously that's exactly what he's done to like make it more arty and less robot.
It's
Yeah.
also like, it is kind of just impressive on its own, making a piece of art that
Yeah.
big.
But then she's like, oh, I like this other piece,
Yeah,
and
she's
like
flirting.
he's genuinely like
Well,
seems to appreciate his art in a way that other people haven't.
Well, you kind of get the vibe that, like, he's like, oh, it's this, and this, and she's like, uh-huh, it's great. She's just like, you kind of got the vibe she was just trying to be nice and just picked the first one she saw.
Oh, I didn't think so. I thought she was like she didn't. She said some quite nice things. Like this one's much more calming, and I like she said some good art words about stuff. It wasn't totally like fake.
True. I just got the feeling that she was just like, no, I like this one. I didn't mean to offend you. It's nice and arty and good.
It's like when our friends are like, "Yeah, we liked the episode where you talk about the film, and it was funny."
Yeah.
And
Oh,
you
come
talked about
on.
the film.
Our friends are not that nice to us. Let's be honest here. Everyone we know goes, no, I don't listen to it. And we're okay with that.
Yeah, that's fine.
No, we're not.
That means
I'm
that our
not.
actual listeners are people we don't know. Hello, people we don't know.
Yeah, our friends don't fucking live. Well, like one of them does. Maybe
Well, I guess we're
one-
going to find out now.
Yeah.
One
Hey,
real
hey,
life friend
friends.
does.
True friends, real
you're,
friends.
If you're one of our friends and listening to this, message into our group chat right now.
That would be weird if they did.
Yeah.
No.
Anyway, so the army leave and they're like reprimanding Mansley. Everyone else leaves. The kid's just staying so he can play with the Iron Giant. And they're playing like Superman and that, but the Iron Giant has to be a Tomo.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Hogarth is playing. He's got like a fake
Which
like
again-
toy laser pistol.
Hogarth.
Yeah.
Maybe don't do that. This Iron Giant is very susceptible to. He's very impressionable. This giant robot. Maybe
Especially
don't be
if-
like, oh, you be the giant evil robot.
Yeah, especially if you try to fire the laser and it makes his eyes go red, and he fires actual laser eyes that melt a car.
And it obviously Hogarth's like, "Oh no, he didn't mean it. He didn't mean it." But the finally being an actual adult, Dean
Yeah.
is like, "Yeah, no, get the fuck away from
Yeah,
the Iron Giant.
It's
Like,
like
that's
he's
not safe."
he's just a big gun that walks, and the Iron Giant runs off, and he's sad because he knows that guns kill things, and he doesn't want to kill because killing things is bad.
But the army spot him because
Yeah, 'cause
he's unfortunately when he's not hiding, he is very easy to spot.
Yeah, and he like
Being
there's some
a
kids,
giant robot in 1950s America.
Yeah, there's some kids like playing on a roof. One of them slips off, and the giant like saves them, and everyone's like cheering because the giant saved the kids. But the army are like do a triple take, and they're like, Jesus Christ, get that thing.
It's very army. It's very
Yeah.
Godzilla.
And they're mostly being driven by
Yeah.
the bad guy.
Yeah, because he's like, Karen.
What do you call it? Hainsley?
Mansley.
Mansley.
Yeah.
He's just like, kill the giant robot.
Yeah. So they all start
Hogarth.
attacking it, but Dean kind of realizes like, oh shit, no, he only reacts defensively.
Yeah. He's like, stop shooting and he'll stop.
Yeah.
He'll stop attacking. Like, he'll stop defending himself. But they don't listen.
Yeah. No, and so they like call in some jets and that. Hogarth's trying to save the giant, who ends up falling off a cliff, but then he can fly, so it's fine. And he does the Superman pose. And
Well,
then he gets shot.
Hogarth. Yeah, Hogarth's in his hands.
Yeah. So he's like, oh, do the
And-
Superman pose, and he does, and then he gets shot and falls, but he's like protecting Hogarth as he falls.
Yeah. The fucked up bit here that I missed when I was a kid, but is definitely fucked, is that Kent Mansley knows that he's there, that the boy is in the Iron Giant's hands,
Yeah.
and tells them to shoot it down anyway. Like, he says, no, that's a negative. That's not. That's the kid's already dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and then he goes on to, because they're like, oh, we're going to fire a nuclear warhead at it. And they're like, the army's like, no, because the people are here.
Yeah. They're
like, yeah, we'll try and lure him out to sea
We'll
Yeah.
lure
and
them out
fire a
then
nuclear
fire.
missile at him in the ocean.
But
Yeah,
Mansley's
and the
gone
guy's
that
like-
fucking mental at this point.
And this is where it all gets a bit sad.
Well, yeah, he just grabs the thing and just tells them to fire. Which, like, I don't know. I feel
mean,
like
they
if you're
have-
working on that ship, if you're
they
working
have-
on that submarine, you
Hmm.
should probably be like, this isn't the commander's voice.
Yeah, I mean they have a
I'm
bit
And
more of a
also-
fight first as well, because this is when he like opens up like the chest gun and shit, and there's like
Yeah.
but he
Yeah,
misses
this
the
thing is
boat,
a real
like-
threat. Yeah.
Yeah, he fires at the boat just to get like, but misses it, and so
Yeah.
Hogarth's just trying to... Well, once you find out Hogarth isn't dead in the snow...
Yeah, because that's what I thought that Hogarth was dead, and I thought that was the sad thing, and I was like, oh, that's really upsetting, but I know that he's not going to actually be dead, because they wouldn't.
No, they wouldn't do that.
And Hogarth's trying to,
wouldn't
like,
kill off any
calm him
but-
down. He's like, you don't have to be the gun, like, you are what you choose to be. Which is
Yeah.
really nice. And so the Iron Giant's like, okay, I'm not
So
going to
he
be an
fires the
evil
warning
thing.
shot instead of...
Yeah.
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 Because
And
he's
then-
so brave.
Is it then Mansley goes a bit mad?
Yes, Mansley
Yeah.
And he's
just...
just like,
so the army
"Ah."
officer and that sees that actually this thing is only, like, reacting
Yeah, they're all-
defensively and it's not going to attack anyone and it's fine. He orders everyone to stand down and Mansley
Yeah.
steals the walkie-talkie and just yells to launch the nuke.
Which again, whoever is in that submarine should not have fired, because
No.
Yeah.
clearly not the same person's voice.
Well, it's a huge battleship, and it's like, yeah, surely you need more, and also surely you know, like they've locked onto the Iron Giant. The point is to, like, they're gonna lure him into the ocean
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
You'd be like,
blow
he's
him
not-
up far away. I mean, obviously there's the nuclear fallout, but whatever.
It's okay because they
But-
had that funky animation earlier to telling kids how to survive a nuke, so it's fine.
Yeah,
But you'd
and that was a
think,
real
like,
thing that happened, which is just wild.
Yeah. The British
Um,
ones are really strange. Have you ever seen one of the British ones?
I think
No.
so, but
They're
like on one of
weird.
those, like, these are upsetting YouTube videos or something.
Yeah. They're weird.
Yeah.
I think one of my teachers showed us them in school just to be like, this fucking happened.
Yeah, we were like the nuclear panic was incredibly real, and to be fair, valid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
We're
this
closer.
mutually assured destruction thing was like it was
Yeah.
on the cards, and I think that the tone of this is really interesting as well in that respect, and like the army are evil in this as well, like
Yeah.
the baddies.
And it's
But even then, like, the army isn't the baddies. One of the guys
it's
in
the
the
one
army.
guy.
Yeah.
And
Like,
even
the
even
actual-
he when he realizes that the nuke's going to
'cause he
destroy all them, he's like,
kills
screw our
himself.
country, I want to live, and tries to drive off.
Yeah, he's a real coward as well as a bad guy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Which
and
is
then-
like,
Um,
I don't know.
But
I
the
don't-
heartbreaking thing at the start, well, not as genuinely heartbreaking as what happens next, but like the acceptance
yeah.
from everyone.
because they're
that
like,
they
should we
know-
get to
and
a
they're like,
shelter?
oh-
And they're like, there's no point. It won't do anything at this point.
At this distance, it won't make a difference.
Yeah.
The missile
you
is
can't get-
literally right there.
Yeah, it's like you. By the time this lands, like we're dead. Like no
Yeah,
matter
focal
where
point.
we are.
There is focal point. Yeah.
And so the Iron
And
Giant...
like this is a town full of people and children and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
It's like a proper full-on town. And the Iron Giant just turns to Hogarth and he says, you stay, I go, no following. And then he flies
Yeah.
up into the sky.
Bitch.
And
Because that's
he-
what Hogarth says at the start.
Yeah, because he doesn't want him to follow him.
Yeah.
And he says Superman and does the pose and he flies into the nuke in the sky to save the village, to save the town,
He didn't.
and explodes.
And it's so sad. He's such a brave big giant robot.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
he is a good
God.
giant robot.
He is. He sacrifices himself for the people that tried to blow him up.
yeah.
And obviously to not specifically save them, but to save Hogarth and to save everyone else. And it's so brave and he's so nice. And he's not a gun. He's much more than a gun.
He's a target.
But oh my god, I was sobbing. Honestly, I was so unprepared for that. I didn't realize. I mean, obviously, I worked out what was going to happen, like as it sort of progressed. But then I was
Yeah.
like, oh no,
You're like, they won't do that.
oh no, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, is he going to like like do a kind of giant baseball
What,
thing
a
where he like
sick-
punts it into or like yeets the
A sick backflip in the air.
or like yeets it into the ocean or something and saves them that way, and then like, is it going to be a nice happy ending? Because at this part I was still trying to convince myself
Nah.
that Hogarth nearly dying was the sad bit,
Yeah.
but no, this
No.
is the sad bit.
As
And
soon
he
as that
explodes
giant
and
said,
Hogarth is
Superman, you knew.
yeah. Oh, as soon as Vin Diesel said
Yeah.
Superman, and he like closes his eyes in like a happy way, and it's
Mhm. And then it
he's
just
such a
kind of...
brave robot. He explodes.
yeah.
They watch
Now-
him. Everyone on the
I-
ground is watching him
Explosion.
explode.
Yeah. Now, I don't want to be the whole, well, what if they did this? The Iron Giant does have a big gun on his chest.
He could have Shot the missile out of the sky.
Just shot the missile out of the sky. I'm just saying.
Maybe his aim wasn't going to be so good and he didn't know, and it was just better to... The only 100% guaranteed way of making sure it exploded up there would be to touch it.
Yeah,
Or
maybe,
the Iron
you know,
Giant.
maybe his
Is this
chest
just-
gun needs to... It takes time to recharge.
It had never made it to before.
It
He was
only
ready to
fired like
shoot.
once before.
He was ready to shoot Hogarth almost immediately after shooting him the first time. I'm just saying.
Maybe it's not
Yeah.
got the distance, though. Maybe...
He could have survived the explosion. if he got hit with it and is alright, it being like a good bit, he could have survived.
No, but I'm saying maybe his weapon wouldn't reach accurately enough at that point.
I'm just saying there were options. He didn't. Need to
Well,
commit
he was
suicide.
panicking.
He was in the drama. He was in the drama of the moment.
Look, he's not a gun. That doesn't mean he's suddenly got brains.
No.
See, that was the problem. Is Hogarth said you're not
Yeah,
the gun.
if
he'd have
if
said
he was-
you're the gun sometimes.
Sometimes okay to be gun.
Yes, you're-
Sometimes the gun is good, and sometimes it's good to use the gun.
It's
use
because
the
what
gun.
you need to protect the American public is a giant robot man with a gun. Of course.
Yeah.
Ah.
Well,
Just
no, 'cause
like
then
they say.
What if a guy turns up with a gun? Well, you need a giant robot with a gun. How do you beat the bad giant robot with a gun with a good
If you give all of the good giant robots guns, that means that they can shoot the bad giant robot with a gun.
Yeah.
How sick does he look though when he's like in
No, he's
full
great.
attack mode?
Oh, I know,
It's a
right? It's
great
really cool.
ending.
I'm sure that's why I remembered it, is because when he has the whole like chest piece open to that, I was like, oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, and like his face opens up to be like multiple guns as well.
Yeah.
It's sick. Yeah, he's a really. I mean,
So-
guns aren't cool, kids, but this gun was pretty fucking cool.
I
So
mean,
at this
guns
point,
aren't
why
cool.
did he
Giant
have to
robots
eat
with
metal?
guns
Or... Yeah. Is that
What?
just a thing? Or...
What,
'Cause
why
I
had
suppose
to
it
eat
never
metal?
does actually explain where he came from.
No,
He
you
could
have
be an
no idea where
alien. He
came
could
from.
be Russian, but I think it's more likely he's an alien.
Yeah, I think
They
he's an
have
alien.
no idea.
So it kind of fast forwards to a few months later, and Dean has made
They've
a
made
statue of
a-
the Iron Giant for, like, you know, in the centre of town to kind
Prosperity.
of celebrate him. Hogarth's happy because Dean and his mum are together, and he's basically got a family again.
Yeah.
And then someone from the army, is it Dean or someone from the army that's like, oh, this is the only bit we recovered from the giant, and it was like
I
the
think-
screw that locks his jaw in?
I think Dean gives him the box.
Yeah.
But I think he said the general wanted him to have it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's like, this
but this was the only thing we recovered. The general wanted you to have it,
Yeah,
and it's
which-
a little screw.
Would have been hella irradiated.
Yeah.
like Hogarth isn't growing up healthy.
And
is
they're
all
like-
I'm saying.
Oh, the
That's why
general's
there's
there
not
like,
many
oh,
Hogarths
shit.
left.
Yeah, that's true.
And then he's like, right, okay, no, I gave it to him in a lead line box. He's going to keep it in a lead line box. It's going to
No.
be fine. Cue it on his bedside table.
Yeah.
Just
Hogarth
out.
is at minimum not having kids.
Yeah, so he's kind of at the end. He's kind of lying in bed, and he hears like a tapping, and he realizes that the screw's trying to get out, and he's like, "That means the giant's alive." And I do kind of remember the shot of like the bits going along in the
Yeah,
Arctic
I
or whatever
fully
it is,
remembered that.
Yeah.
and he's like stuck in a glacier, and just slowly bits are making their way back to him.
Yeah.
That takes so long.
Maybe he's the type of special alien metal that doesn't hold radiation.
Maybe.
And
Nah,
Hogarth is fine and goes on to
Amplified.
find his
Hogarth
family
isn't.
and live happily ever after.
Hogarth isn't growing up healthy.
There's a
is
reason
what
why there
I'm
isn't
saying.
the Iron Giant too.
Yep. The other.
'Cause it's from before everything needed sequels.
Maybe.
This was
I mean,
from
this was
before then, yeah.
1999. I wonder.
All
I
we know
don't
is-
actually know how well this film did. To be fair,
I think it did quite well. It tricked all those kids into getting depression.
yeah. Also, quite a nice short movie. Like it's just under an hour and a half, and
Mm.
it goes by nicely.
Yeah, it's really well paced. It's a really well made film. I just don't know why he didn't use his gun at the end.
It was not a success.
No?
So, film significantly underperformed at the box office, grossing 31.3 million worldwide against a production budget of 50 million, which was
Damn.
attributed to Warner Bros' lack of marketing and skepticism towards animated film production following the box office failure of Quest for Camelot the preceding year. Anyone
really
remember Quest for Camelot? Because I
No.
don't. So that one I think genuinely must have flopped.
I
Yeah,
really
no, don't know
wish
one.
that, like, at that point in history, that, like, there were so many studios and big companies were like, maybe we don't do animation just after all of these really sick animations came out.
Yeah.
Like, some of the best animations come out at that point when all of the studios were shutting down their animation departments.
Yeah. Or like they're trying the experimental things of like, you know, the part CGI,
The
part
cool
hand drawn.
stuff.
Like you know,
And,
like
like,
we used
the-
to do, where we reviewed those movies that absolutely failed and destroyed companies.
Yeah, the company killers. Is that like? Here's that vibe of like they're just about to release this really sick film, and the studio's like, we don't want to do animation anymore, so we're not going to advertise this sick film that's just come out.
Yeah. It's like, well, we're not gonna. We know this isn't gonna work, so we're not gonna spend any more money on it. And it's like, okay, I understand like the concept of sunken cost fallacy, but like, there's also dooming something and throwing
This
the
is
baby
a
out with the bathwater.
fucking
Because you
sick
know,
movie.
you've got this really cool movie about a kid that the fucking giant robot comes from space, voiced by Vin Diesel, and his mum's Jennifer Aniston, and they're like, I don't know if we should market this because Quest for Camelot failed. What is that? Fucking Black Cauldron 2?
But also,
I mean, it's not far off. Weird, amazing cast though. So who do you think is going to be in 1998? What would be a big name?
Oh, hang on, no. If we're going by this, it's Paul Walker and
is it
Chandler
Dwayne Johnson?
from
Is it The
Friends.
Rock? Is it quote unquote The Rock? Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
he plays the rock that the sword in the stone is stuck in.
Yeah.
Gary Oldman,
Okay.
Eric Idle, and Pierce Brosnan.
Oh,
fun.
right. Huh. How strange.
Yes, super weird.
I can't wait for us to eventually reach out to a guest and they're like, oh, you used to really like this film called Quest for Camelot, and then we've got to watch it.
We're gonna know so much about that fucking movie.
So I'm getting weird. I think I might have seen this film.
Yeah.
Of course.
I mean, I do not remember it at all, except for the only thing I've seen of it is the front. Not front cover. That's books. Movie poster. I think
Oh
the
no, I have
two-headed
fucking
dragon.
seen this movie. I
'Cause
have
it's got a
seen this
dragon-
movie.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my god, it is ugly.
I have seen this movie. I remember the two-headed dragon.
Yeah, that's all I remember is the two-headed dragon.
I vaguely recognise, I don't think I've seen it, but I vaguely recognise the poster.
I might have recognized it. Might be
Oh my God,
the
it's the
magic
most
sword is when I
generic.
saw it. Like I might have seen it as the magic sword instead of the Quest for Camelot.
Oh, okay, yeah. Was it? Was that what it was called?
Well, one of the covers says the Quest,
Yeah.
the magic sword. So it might have
Featuring
been
new music by Celine Dion.
that. Fuck yes.
The year before Titanic. Hell yeah.
Oh, we're watching this
Uh,
like at some point.
Well, before
Fuck
we get
yes.
to that, what would you rate the Iron Giant out of 10?
9. I wasn't 9. 9 of times the robot should have used his gun for good. Yeah.
You're what's wrong with America, Mikey.
Yeah, I'm in particular what's wrong with America. Yeah, the gays. Sorry. Yeah, no, this film didn't make me cry as much as I thought it would, and I felt like a monster at the end for not crying as much.
Yeah, I can't believe your reaction was, well, he should have just shot it out the air, not, oh my god, the brave robot.
I only thought about that whilst we were discussing it. At the time, I was sad, but I didn't I remember crying a lot at it when I was a kid, but yeah, not now.
It's
but
pretty
not
brutal to be like, look at this amazing new friend for this guy. Wouldn't you love to be friends with this amazing giant robot? How friendly and cool is it? Oh, he's exploded.
Yeah.
Forever.
I might have also been a bit burnt out on crying because I watched Lilo and Stitch first.
Okay, yeah.
Just after watching.
I
this,
watched
so
them.
may
I
have
watched
been
them
a
on
bit-
separate days, so I was.
Yeah,
I had a
may
fresh
have
batch
yeah.
going.
Yeah.
burnt myself out on.
I had rehydrated.
But yeah, no, I just feel but it's an incredible film. So 9 out of 10.
Yeah, I think 9 out of 10 as well. 9 out of 10. Cheers for the robot. Or 9 out of 10. Hog Who. Hog. Broken BB guns.
Yep.
I honestly like how evil that army guy was though. By the end, was just
He just
insane. Like
turned as
I was
well.
not prepared for it to be like he goes crazy.
Yeah.
Like he
just
loses
turns
his
as
mind
well.
trying to like capture this robot, and
Yeah. I'm kind
in
of
the
wondering
end,
if
it's like
that's
all that
one of-
matters to him is that he beats the robot. That's what he cares about more than essentially living.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
wondering if like one of the cut scenes was to do with that. I'm not too sure. I know one of them because I didn't watch the
Should-
extended version.
Do you know why it was?
because of
Turns
the
out.
diary.
Like,
Yeah. Like I didn't.
He was so dehydrated by the end of the film.
Oh god, he's just got delirium. Yeah, diarrhea
Yeah.
induced psychosis.
Thinking about it, if I was like this, I came to this town to deal with this problem and they've poisoned me with diarrhea medicine, I'd probably lose my shit as well.
Well, yeah, literally.
Well, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he
Yeah.
also, I guess what's important to notice as well is that like the guy Kent, his name is weirdly, doesn't have a car because at the start the Iron Giant eats his car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's like, there's constantly having to like
honestly-
borrow people's cars, and like they're always like kind of annoyed with him about it.
And he
Honestly,
always ends
I
up getting
can't
them
get it.
either a bit eaten or crashed.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is a weird thing that happens in these kinds of movies where, like, the moral of the film is everyone deserves, like, empathy and respect and care, apart from that one guy. And, like, every film that has that kind of story and that moral, it always has that one guy that isn't allowed empathy.
But I mean, he
and
does.
in this one, it's him.
We do try to warm to him at the start, like you said. You know, we're trying to be like as adults, like, oh, he's just doing his job.
Oh, yeah,
But
no, but by the end of
he
it,
then
you're like, no,
takes
he's
it way
just a
too
villain.
far. Like, oh yeah, at the end, he's just bad with a
Yeah.
capital BAD.
Like, every other character is allowed
Monster.
to be, like,
Yeah.
redeemable, and he's like, nah, this one's
Yeah, I feel
bad.
like
This
I think
one's
he was
bad.
irredeemable. As soon as he tried to told them to shoot down the monster, not knowing that Hogarth, knowing that
yeah.
Hogarth had survived.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
he was dehydrated and delirious by that point.
Yeah,
My friend hadn't eaten anything for a
yeah,
couple days.
yeah. He would have been a monster if he'd had some pedialyte.
Yeah.
All he needed was like a sugary Coke.
Yeah. Well, I think this film's great. I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. People still named Hogarth in the world.
There are 10 of them.
Oh yeah, I searched that website and I had all the info on it, and it just would like it was like, no, Hogarth is a last name, you idiot. Like, there's no results for her
See?
first name Hogarth.
Vindication.
It's like calling your son Smith.
Yeah.
When your surname is also Smith.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I really enjoyed this. Like, it was probably a little bit nostalgia, like giving it that extra bump, but I really liked watching this again. It was a good time. It was nice animation, like just
It is
all round a
beautiful.
good
Like,
movie.
I still firmly disagree with you that this is a great movie. It's not great. Like, it's so colourful. It's so pretty.
The
I think I've
lighting's
worked
really
out-
nice in it as well. Like,
Yeah.
Good
There's
to be
so many
honest
like
with you.
sunset shots. Were you watching this with like your monitor turned down 50%?
No. I think I know why. I think I worked out why. I have a setting on my computer that like sets it to colorblind mode. I may have accidentally turned it off.
oh,
Okay.
It like adjusts all the colors to be correct to my kind of colorblindness.
yeah.
Okay.
I may have accidentally turned that off.
Yeah. Sorry to be ableist, but actually, yeah, we should always take your opinions on how colourful a movie is with a grain of salt. And I'd forgotten about that aspect of your unique user experience. Yeah. So, from the experts in colour that can see all three of them, yeah, it's a pretty colourful movie, actually. There's loads of, like, really nice reds and greens.
Wow. That felt targeted.
I mean, how could you tell?
It's just nice not to be the target for once.
Shut up, Dan.
And with that, I've been Dan.
I've been Michael.
And I've been Helena.
You can find this podcast on social media at Hilton Pod. That's at HILTM Pod. We're on Discord as well. Come and tell us, were you sad when the Iron Giant died, or were you heartless?
Wait, do you think he's a metaphor for Jesus?
Yes.
Definitely.
No, he's a metaphor for Superman. They say it pretty often.
Oh yeah.
It'd be a pretty fucking different movie if he flies up and just arms out in the cross position. He's like, Jesus.
Well, it really...
No, because he comes back afterwards. He rises again.
However, it takes him like a month. Jesus had a respawn period of 3 days.
That's true. I've just got way too much of that Christian Instagram going on at the moment. Like the really target. Like I don't know why the algorithm is like you should convert to capitalism.
Sending them.
But because I keep interacting with them to be like, guys, look at this absolutely insane. Like Christian TikTok, Christian Instagram reels are wild.
Yeah, and not just like, oh, I'm a Christian kind of. I mean like this weird like soft toy Jesus kind of stuff.
That guy comes up a lot. Yeah,
he's called.
But the thing is, like, it's working. I kind of now low key want one. But then it's like, actually, I don't want them to have my bank details.
Yeah, no, don't do that.
And that's why for the Patreon we're buying Helena a soft toy Jesus.
No.
Now we're gonna buy Mikey those cool colorblind glasses, and then he gets to rewatch the movie.
I mean, if we could, that'd be great, but they're like 300 quid.
Well,
it was that or giant robot. So,
well, I was going to go with giant robot. I was going to go to step 1, build giant robot. Step 2, launch into
that's
space.
like probably only 250 quid for parts.
Yeah.
So,
Step 2, launch
cheaper.
into space. Step 3, it comes back down from space. Step 4, we give a soldier serious stomach problems.
We hire a private detective to try and find the robot, and we also hire a kid to try and get in the way.
Yeah,
and we arm him with a BB gun, a camera, and some X-Lax.
Yeah, and then we poison the detective with an ungodly amount of X-Lax. And then just kind of never let him go anywhere near toilets.
Oh no, that's starting to sound like a weird, like, I don't know. That's too far. Let him poo in a toilet.
I mean, do we not have to like film it for referencing for the animators?
Oh yeah, true. But yeah, we want to reanimate someone having diarrhea for 2 hours.
No one wants that reference footage.
Hello and welcome to Hey, I Loved That Movie, the podcast where we rewatch the films we loved when we were younger to see if they still hold up. I'm Dan.
I'm Michael.
And I'm Helena.
Sorry, do you want me to do that again without going,
Did you forget your own name for it?
Yes. I was reading something.
This is going to be a high energy episode.
I'll just do it just from me.